All right, fine. I'll be a gracious host. How you doing?
Little Mermaid is the scariest Disney movie by far, though.
Why the hell is Ace Blade in your Kickstarter?
Some comics. I'm getting controversial today. We're gonna get controversial today with.
My proudest moment is this interview and being able to talk to you two.
Why are you gonna send these to me at the very last moment?
That's how I do.
All of a sudden, I get this pop up like, "Oh, now okay, all right, now I got to do this." And I'm gonna start the show. I'm gonna try to do this. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Taurus Comics, in collaboration with Fourth Wall Productions, proudly brings to you the Four Tales podcast. I am your host, Kyrun Silva from Taurus Comics. Across the way is the mulberry melodist of Ace Blade, Danny J. Quick, and together we are your two award-winning blurred comic creators, here to help you find your next favorite comic. And we are live on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and a host of other programs, so if you're listening or watching to us live, thank you for your support. But don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and review this podcast because all your positive reviews and interactions help us reach a bigger audience. Okay, these questions are weird this week, but you know what? I'm going to let you explain them when we get to the Quicktakes section.
That's how I do. I'm trying to change it up, man.
I get you. How you doing, though?
But anyway, how you been doing, Kyrun?
It's been an interesting week. I started the week trying to learn how to draw goats.
Yes.
And then I learned I don't have to draw that anymore, but, I got to start drawing horses and Western areas and things like that, so it's okay.
I was going to ask you, how many horses have you drawn this week?
Practice, about 100. On the actual pages, 0. But I'm going to add some eventually.
Okay. All right. What about the old dusty Western town? How many rickety buildings have you drawn?
Let me see. It looks about 10 on the first panel.
On the first panel, nice.
On the first panel,
I like it a lot. For those of you who don't know, Kyrun and I are working together on a project called The Ballad of the Black Rose, which is a black Western adventure with a mysterious sci-fi twist. That's how I'm gonna talk about it from now on. Yes.
Okay.
And we'll be talking about it more in the future, I'm sure. But yes, we were working on another project first, but we decided Kyrun didn't want to draw.
Don't even.
Kyrun said he didn't want to draw anthropomorphic animals in samurai suits. So
wait, there were samurai suits? I do not remember seeing that in the script.
They would have been in the second issue. They would have been.
Because I would have gone all Usagi Yojimbo on.
Right. Oh shoot. But we'll be talking about it later, and we actually had some other projects to talk about too. But that's not why we're here today. Why are we here today, Kyrun?
Well, we are here today to introduce everybody to an amazing writer, but we do have one more big announcement, I guess, that we got to start talking about. This was actually shared on social media this week, and this is the new venture that we are teaming up with Michael Watson, Unlikely Heroes, Top 5 Live, yeah, 5-Star Fridays, Moana. So we are all coming together to make one channel of geekdom streaming services. We're going to call it the Agents of Geekdom, and you'll be able to watch it on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. I don't know about Twitter yet. I think it's going to be live on Twitter. You'll be able to follow us on TikTok and see all these great shows. And this is basically just us coming together for one location for you to enjoy all our great shows. So that actually launches in about 2 weeks. So check it out. Start following us, because eventually we're told that we got to shut all our pages down, and everybody's going to be going to one pages. So you don't want to miss anything that's going to be happening with us. And this is I think it's a pretty cool thing that we're all going to be coming together, building our audiences, coming together, helping each other out more than anything.
Absolutely.
Hold on. Brad Arnie says, when are you planning to announce a new Saw book? Okay. Do I want to be real, or do I want to be salesman right now?
Give him the beans. Spill the beans, Kyrun.
All right. I'll be real and honest with y'all. I've actually written Saw 4 and 5. I gave the script to my artist for Saw 4. I've paid for a few pages. I've gotten one cover back and one page in about 3 months. I have not heard from my artist in about 3 weeks. And I'm still missing a handful of pages I've already paid for. So, Brad, to answer your question, yes, there is going to be a Saw 4. At this point, I feel like I need to find another artist, because the one I had is unreliable. And that's part of this game that we have of making comics. Sometimes you find creators, you find freelancers that you want to work with and that are amazing creators, and things happen. I mean, I'm not the first person to get scammed, or it just sucks, because I've worked with this person before.
It does suck. And it's part of the reason that it's hard to do indie comics. There's a plethora of reasons, but it's one of those things that you have to develop a relationship with the artist, and you kind of have to trust them and be able to communicate. And then, but it's a two-way street. They have to be able to do the same thing. So it's hard, because of course when you're indie, you're most likely going to be working with freelancers, people who might not be doing it every time, every day of the year. They might not be working as an artist every day of the year. They might have a full-time job. They might have other responsibilities that get in the way. They may not have developed that rhythm to be able to keep consistent work coming out. And that's one of the things that you struggle with. And then once you get to that rhythm, you start to work for more professional outlets. So those kind of things, artists get become out of our price range, or become unavailable because they have other projects working on. So, but that's one of the things I wanted to talk to our guest about and see what she thinks about it.
Okay. All right. Well, let's bring our guest on. She is a novelist and writer and director. Apparently she is, or at least her family is, into wrestling, so I'll be excited if we can get to that too. But her name is Janice Dennie. And good morning, Janice. Or Janny. Hi. I don't know. What do you want to go by again? I can't remember.
Janice.
Okay. All right, we'll stick with Janice. Good morning, Janice. How are you doing today?
Hi, how are you?
I'm all right. Good. This is one of the few times where us West Coasters are actually outnumbering Danny, so I'm excited.
We've had some experience with the West Coast guests. We've had some experiences. So with that, we're so glad that you woke up nice and early to talk to us. So why don't you tell the folks who may not know who you are, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I'm Janice Dennie. This light is kind of dark. And I am a writer. I wish I knew how to draw, but unfortunately, I was never successful with that, So I just focused on writing, and I've written about 13 novels. And after the COVID hit real bad, and we went through the pandemic, I wanted to write something, because my last novel was a mystery thriller, and I wanted to write something that was kind of uplifting or kind of fun, And so I wrote a children's book. It was a little fairy tale type book for kids. And then I said, I want to write some sci-fi, something different, So I came up with the idea of writing a sci-fi novel. And then when I thought about it, I said, a sci-fi might be better on a graphic novel, comic book level, because you have more of a visionary thing going on with telling the story.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes it more exciting. I think personally, it makes it more exciting and fun to read and enjoyable. So that's when I thought about writing my story Firebird. Actually, I created my universe. It's called the Xiratha. It's called the Ursa universe.
Ursa universe.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of people, hopefully, especially children, because I think my comics, kids can read them too. It's not just for adults.
Okay.
They can learn about astrology, astronomy, where the Big Dipper is, where the Little Dipper is, and where the Ursa universe is, or the Ursa galaxy. Mm-hmm. And so I just came up with these ideas. They just popped into my head. And I said, well, I want my planet to be a green planet. So I named it Xiratha, and it's covered with green malachite crystals, which are magic, which are, they give the inhabitants of that planet their powers. And so then I started creating my characters. I mean, I just went through a whole thing. And my first comic book was Girl from Xiratha. And she came from the green planet. And the whole thing for the Xiratha humanoids, they're all humanoids. Like in that movie Avatar, how those blue humanoids, they had those tails, but they still kind of look like people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's how the people are on Xiratha. They all have something about them that's different, but they still look like humans. Some of them have it real bad. Some of them have it worse. Some of them have hardly any. And so the girl from Xiratha, she didn't have a lot of physical changes. She just had these green eyes that could, where she got her X-ray vision and she could, see things through her eyes. And that was my first character. And their whole premise, the whole story behind the Ursa Defense League is they are peacekeepers. Mm-hmm. They want to maintain peace and harmony and throughout the universe. And so that's what their mission is to kind of keep peace within the planets.
Absolutely.
So they go from planet to planet, fighting the bad guys and keeping everybody safe.
I imagine it's got to be a different. So I imagine like the thought process behind writing your novels and your comics has to be kind of different. Like you said, you wanted the comics to be more of a visual and immersive experience. I know I listen to a lot of audiobooks, and I can absolutely, you can get a lot of information. You can imagine a lot from what you read in a novel, but when you have the images right there, it kind of gives you more depth into it sometimes. So but I think that your novels are targeted to a different group than these
they
guys.
are. Yeah.
So I would I'm curious to know, what is it like kind of switching from you've written 13 novels that were a little more adult than this type of thing. So what is it like switching from that lane to this lane?
Well, actually, I still write both,
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that I do notice this is that one thing about a picture, if you get the right artist, a picture is worth 1,000 words.
That's right.
Oh, you don't have to write all this long narrative or anything. The picture just shows you everything, and it just, especially if it's a really good artist, it makes you feel. It makes you. It might even inspire you.
Absolutely.
Just, that's how I think powerful art it can be. That's why I wish I could draw. I never could do it, but I really respect artists myself personally who are able to do that because it's beautiful. I think it's just great. It's beautiful.
I'm right there with you. And I always say, Kyrun is an artist, and I respect so much the one thing, the reason I show my respect to artists, because it's the one thing that I don't try to do. Right. When it comes to me making comics, I write, I'll design characters, I will letter, I'll do graphic design, logos, I'll publish, I literally, format the books for print. I do literally everything else except for the illustration, for that simple fact that I don't believe that I've developed my skills enough to be worthy to sell that to people. You know what I mean? Like, I've gone to school for all this other stuff. I can write, I can do all this other stuff. But when it comes to illustration, there's something that I just don't have in me that people like Kyrun and Sean Barber, and all these amazing artists can do, where they can take what I put on paper and really bring out the depth and the life of it. They can really bring it to life. And I know that sounds cliche, but it's the truth.
No, it's not the truth, actually, because you just showed a virgin cover that you drew for your comics. That's actually not the truth anymore.
That's different. That's different. Like I can do a poster, like a pinup is one thing, but telling a story with pictures is a very, very specific type of gift and art that you have, to be able to put the detail, just like Kyrun was having a discussion yesterday about his appreciate it, Phil, thank you, about the book that we're working on, and how, like, the detail in how rickety, like, if this town is so run down, or if the town is one of those newer towns that's just being built, you can see construction in the background. You can see certain stores are more busy than other stores. Just by looking at this panel, you can get so much detail. And all I wrote was a family walks down the street, and now Kyrun has a whole story in this one panel. Like, it's amazing what artists can do. So what I was going to ask you is how is the process of finding an artist? That process, I know for me, it's all about the relationship you build and the communication and finding somebody that you can trust to do that. What is your process for finding your artist? Because you have some great art on your book so far.
Well, this is my artist for Girl from Xiratha. She made this headline, Girl from Xiratha, and her name is Aaliyah Landry. She's a great artist, and she. Her name is Aaliyah Landry.
Don't go stealing her artist now.
Aaliyah Landry. She's great. So, I mean, where can you find text like this? I mean, I couldn't find that. I could never find fonts like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they create them.
So, anyway, I found her actually. You just kind of stumble on things,
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And what I did for after I finished with that comic and I decided to go on and continue, I did a post in Comic Creators on Facebook. It's like this Facebook page called Comic Creators or something like that. And I just posted on there. I'm looking for an artist. Anybody know of one? Let me know. I got 1 million people.
Yep.
And I was like, what?
Yeah.
What am I going to do? I just couldn't believe it. And all of them were good.
Yeah.
Like, what in the world am I going to do?
Yeah. It's sort of like
I just had to choose.
Piranhas.
It was just a blessing. That's all I can say. I mean, what else can you call that?
They say,
Yeah.
"Seek and ye shall find." I think
Yeah.
you put the message
Okay,
out
I mean,
there.
really. So I was so happy to see all these wonderful, talented, just beautiful art. I mean, artists that had beautiful art, and I was like, wait a minute, which one am I going to choose? And so, you know, I eventually found one that I'm working with now. And I mean, you talking about gorgeous, beautiful art, and being able to take your words, like you were saying, Danny, how you can write some text or dialogue or narrative, and they can take that and just turn it into just something that far exceeds what you even thought you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, you just have some talent out there, really good people.
Yeah.
So you just find who you can and just stick with them and just do your thing, you know.
Now, I saw that for your first comic book, you actually did a Kickstarter to help fund the production of that. How was your experience? Because it looks like that was your first foray into Kickstarters. How was your experience using that platform?
Yeah, Kickstarter is great. I like Kickstarter because it forces you to think your marketing kind of through, or how you're going to present your project through in all kinds of levels, you know. And so I didn't think I was going to be able to do it, to be honest with you. I didn't think I was going to be successful. So I kept my project very, very narrow, just to test it out to see if this works. And fortunately, I was successful because I just wanted to have my comic books printed. Mm-hmm. And I had already paid the artist, and so I wanted to have them printed, and I got some printed. And after that, I said, well, if this works for this project, maybe it'll work for my second project.
There you go.
So I'm going to do a Kickstarter project for Firebird in November.
Okay. Now, it looks like we do have a question from the audience here that says, how much of your stories are autobiographical? Okay.
None of them.
Okay.
I'm a boring person. I don't write about myself. I write, you know what? I'll tell you where I get my ideas from. Just everywhere. Anything. I mean, you name it. I got my idea for writing this one story about the orchard murders, my last mystery thriller, by driving through the highway and seeing this real dark orchard. It was real dark and it was huge. And I was like, what in the world? Who in the world would want to go in there and pick apples? I wouldn't.
Not me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so I said, you know, that'd be a good place to, if you're going to do some dirt or something, you know, kill somebody, that would be a good place to bury their body. So here comes my idea, the orchard murders. And then I create a character. He's an ex-military man. He goes in there. He turns into a private eye, and he goes in there and solves the murder.
Nice.
All right. That's how I get my ideas, just from everywhere.
Now, what about your newest book, Red Feather of Death? What can you give us information on about that? Because that's the one you're going to have the Kickstarter for, correct?
Yeah. Well, I got the idea of that when I decided that I wanted to write a sci-fi novel about 5 years ago. I knew I was going to have this character in there as one of the heroes. And I wanted all my heroes to be, you know, like most of them women, and then it's some men too. But it's just, you know, I was like, you know, give us a chance to do. You know, we want to be heroes too. So anyway, what I did is I thought of, okay, Firebird. Actually, Firebird is based on a ballet, believe it or not. Believe it or not, the story is based on a ballet. The score was written by Igor Stravinsky back in the 1900s, 1904, something like that. And he's the same one who wrote The Nutcracker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. So the story goes, there's this little red bird that is flying through the forest one day and runs upon this prince who gets lost. The prince is lost in the forest and then gets attacked by some evil birds. And so the Firebird has powers. And so she comes in and saves the prince from the evil birds. That's basically the story. And so I kind of I said, well, that's a good story. And the Dance Theater of Harlem, they have a dance called the Firebird. If you ever get a chance to see them do that, it will make you cry. It's so beautiful. That's what I'm telling you about art. Art, no matter what form it comes in. When you see art that's really, really beautiful, no matter how it comes, it will make you feel inspired. Mm-hmm. It will make you feel alive. Yeah. So anyway, the story goes, and so I said, well, so Firebird, she's going to be from the Ursa galaxy. She's going to be from the planet Xiratha. And so she's going to have to come. She's still on a mission to save the Earth from some of these, the villains who are called the Dark Chiss, who are trying to destroy the Hoover Dam, the Earth's water supply. And they're starting with the Hoover Dam. So she comes down, and the girl from Xiratha, her name is Agent Eris. She beams Firebird and lets her know, we have a problem here and I've lost my powers. A lot of my powers don't work here on Earth. So Firebird comes down there, she, beats up the bad guys, and then she wins, and then she goes back. But she has to take back the villain to face his whatever, I don't know, I guess his brother, actually. This is his brother on planet Xiratha.
But don't give us too much of the actual story. We want to we want to read it.
Well, that's what the Firebird is about. Now, the Ursa, I don't know if you want to know about the Xirathian humanoids or the Ursa universe.
Sure.
Series.
I'd love to.
Well, the Ursa universe is a constellation of galaxies, planets, and stars that many of my characters live in near the Big and Little Dipper. But anyway, so on and so forth. It's 3 main characters who are heroes. You have Agent Eris, Firebird, and then Star Angel. And Star Angel is named after one of my husband's wrestlers, one of his old wrestlers. I thought that was a good name, and I said, I gotta create a character, and I'm gonna name her Star Angel. And boy, did the artist come up with a good rendition of her.
Okay. Star
Angel is off the hook. Anyway, so I said, okay, that's a good story. That's going to be a good story. And then there are the 3 main heroes of the Ursa universe. And then, of course, Emperor Norsimo. He's this old guy. He's like 500 years old. And his brother is the villain, General Vatat. He's over the Ursa Defense League, the army. But he's just a traitor. And that's the reason why. And so that's the reason why they have this conflict going on. These 2 brothers have this conflict. Anyway, the history of the planet it started 5,000 years ago with Zimbaku. I was going to name him a different character at first, but then I came up with the named Zimbaku because that's the name of the planet Mercury. A lot of my characters are named after planets.
Mm-hmm.
And Zimbaku is a derivative of a planet that is named after Mercury in Swahili. So I just said, let me just, because there's like a little African type of thing going on here too. So what happened is Zimbaku married this beautiful nymph from the planet Dupe. That's the original planet.
Mm-hmm.
And they both she became the matriarch of all humanoids. And he was, of course, the patriarch. For 5,000 years, they were the founding, like Adam and Eve, And so as the story goes on, he, of course, had liaisons. He had his favorite planet, which was planet Earth. He had liaisons with women all over Earth, Zimbaku. So what happened is these people all over Earth, women all over Earth, in every continent, and then finally he fell in love with this one woman who was from Ghana, and she was from northern Ghana, and he saved her life and fell in love with her. And so
some ego the living planet stuff going on. I see you got some Star-Lord Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, it's just it's just an imagination. Just just that's one thing I can do. I can come with some good ideas. And see, and everybody likes a good story, don't they?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yes, definitely.
So a story is a story is a story. If the story's good, the story's good. If it's bad, it's bad. It's good, it's good.
That's right.
So anyway, he gets this woman who is a beautiful African queen. Her name is Nina. And through them, they have all these half humanoids. That's what I call them. They're called half humanoids. And see, Zimbaku, he is the one who is the father of all the half humanoids that are here on planet Earth. And you have a lot of people walking around, don't know they have powers.
Okay.
And I'm kind of thinking, have you ever seen these broken people who just don't believe in themselves, just have no dreams, don't want to do anything?
Mm-hmm.
People like that. It's like that and really they have the answers to a lot of their problems within themselves.
That's true.
It's true. It's very true.
So that what happens is he populates the earth with all these people, and they all move out of into the world. And then you have all these half humanoids scattered all over the world in every country, so on and so forth. And now Emperor Norsimo, he's the leader of the Ursa Defense League. He wants to wake these people up, let them know you guys need to save your planet, because there's aliens out there who want to destroy your planet and take it over. Okay. So you got to save yourself. That's kind of like the gist of the story.
Okay. Now, one of the things I found out, or Danny and I both found this out while we were doing research on you, is that along with novels, you've also directed a movie. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I just, I do a lot of this just because I can, and so.
Hey, if you can, you can.
Well, and so what I said, I'd written this story about the wine country. It's the Napa Valley wine country. It's called Kenton's Vintage Affair. And that one book was a really good seller. It made the Amazon.com best-selling list. And a lot of people like that book for some reason. So I made it into a movie, an indie movie. And of course, it's like Issa Rae says, Issa Rae, she says, one good thing about indie products or projects is they have to work with what they have.
Yes, that's true.
That's the
You
truth,
have to
right
just
there.
you just have to just do it and do it with what you have and find a way to do it. And people will be very creative to come up with a way to make their project happen.
Yeah,
and that's what happened with that.
I've been wanting to do a short film too. I've been not a feature length film, but a short film with some of our superhero characters, and I don't know what's stopping me because I know we have the tools to make it, and I just won't. For some reason, I just won't set the time aside to actually do it. But I think that's going to be one of my big goals for next year is to get this short film done because I think it would absolutely help the comic books reach new people, help the stories reach new people, and I know that the script that I've written is decent. So it's one of those things that I gotta kind of put some time aside to do.
Well, look, I tell you one about superhero movies, a lot of CGI, in those.
Yeah, thankfully, my guy doesn't have any superpowers, so we'll have to do too much. Now, if it was,
it's gonna be like Luke Cage.
Yeah, if it was Kyrun's superhero Saw, then it'd be different. But Blade it's just got the fisticuffs.
Yeah, actually, I don't have any street level characters. I have a mystic, I have a superhero, and I have a sci-fi series. I don't have anything at street level yet. I should say yet.
I really love him. Jessica Jones. Oh yeah. All of that.
Oh yeah, Jessica Jones. I still say that first season of Jessica Jones was like the best superhero TV that I've ever seen. That her versus the Purple Man, like the way that they put the her versus him, like it was crazy. Are you ready? You ready for quick takes, Kyrun?
Okay,
I'm good.
All right, here we go. Let's do it.
And now a word from our sponsor.
And now back to the show. Quicktakes. I'm asking you if you're ready, and I'm not ready. I don't even got my list up. Okay. Miss Janice, I know you've seen the show before, but for anyone who hasn't seen it, this is a section we call Quick Takes. It's a rapid fire question and answer section where Miss Janice will have 45 seconds to answer these questions off the top of her head. Okay. So
when did we get so formal and calling her Miss Janice? When did that happen? Because I have not been calling her that, so I'm gonna feel bad if
it's the North Carolina in me. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Okay. All right.
Well, my people were from Virginia before they were from California.
Yeah. All right. So I did a little digging around your social media, and I just got some inquiries. So here we go. Question number 1. I saw that you have a garden. I myself have the opposite of a green thumb. I probably couldn't grow anything if I tried, but I've always wanted to. So in 45 seconds, give us your best gardening tips for how to plant and grow healthy fruits and vegetables.
The easiest thing I can say is get you some 5-gallon buckets from Home Depot or Lowe's, and you get you some dirt, some cheap plant dirt, potting soil. Get you some plants and put them in there and water them. That's it. Give them some sun and water, and that should work. Whatever kind of vegetables, tomatoes, peppers, whatever.
See, that's why I'm always trying to overdo it. You kept it nice and simple. From when I built my wife a little plot in the back. We got these little sectioned off areas. We had like specific dirt for specific plants that we were trying to do. Like we tried to go above and beyond, and like some of the stuff grew, but most of the stuff was just like, nah, I'm not doing that. So awesome. Okay, keep it simple. All right. Question number 2. If you could only, for the rest of your career, do one or the other, comic books or novels, which would you choose and why?
Comic books. because of the art and because of it's less writing. But but you could get more in. You could just express yourself better. I think with when you have visual pictures to go along with what your story is about.
I agree with you. See, I'm down with it. Okay. Question number 3. Which one of your novels, and like I said, I know your novels have a little more of an adult audience, but which one of your novels would make the best comic book?
Maybe the Orchard Murders.
That would be a good mystery,
because it's
comic.
a thriller, and they do have like thriller type mystery comic books. Some mystery comic books.
Oh yeah, comic books it's not all about superheroes and superpowers and stuff like that. You got stuff like The Walking Dead, was a comic book. It's a zombie horror thriller, and then you got just all kinds of stuff. I think that would absolutely make it.
Yeah, like Dick Tracy. Remember back, those old Dick Tracy comic books? Yeah. He was a inspector, or what do you call it, a investigator.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Okay, question number 4, and this is a question I'm starting to ask a lot of people because it is different for everybody. I know for me, the worst part of being an independent creator is the logistics. I always worry in my brain if I've sent the right books that people have ordered to the right people and how to get stuff from one place to another. But for other people, it might be something different. So for you, what is the worst part of creating comics?
The details, getting the final product done. Because you have to really, if you're going to do an indie comic, you have to do all the editing, everything. You have to do the writing. You have to make sure the art matches the dialogue, so on and so forth. That is the hardest part, making sure your end product is perfect.
Yes. I'd skip over that part. I like you said, when you're indie, you got to work with what you got sometimes. So I try to make it the best that I can make it. And then, I let God deal with the rest. So
that's why you got double spaces in your textbooks, though.
That's exactly why I got double spaces and no periods and punctuation. But yeah, okay. So last but not least, every show I try to bring in my other podcast hat. We do another show called Top 5 Live with Morgan and Javon. And I try to get my our guest here to do a top 5 list off the top of their head. So for you, I know you're a fan of some other Black female authors. Of course, we all know Maya Angelou and Zora Neale Hurston and things like that. I want to know who are your top 5 Black female authors.
My top 5, I would say my first one would be Beverly Jenkins. If you like, I love historicals too. She writes Black historicals, and she's very good. She's number 1. Number 2 would be, I like Waiting to Exhale. What's the lady who wrote that? I can't remember her name. I like her, of course, Maya Angelou, anything by her. And then, of course, the one that they just banned, what's her name? I can't believe she wrote The Bluest Eye. And then, yeah. And then the one who wrote, I can't
Toni Morrison.
Toni Morrison, right. I only got 4, sorry.
That's a tough list. That's a tough list for sure. Definitely a tough list. Well, thank you. That was our quick takes this week, sponsored by Purple Yoshi, chilling out here in the background. But thanks for doing that for us. We can't hear you, Kyrun. You're muted. Steve?
We can't have Purple Yoshi as our sponsor because that's a Super Nintendo thing, and Nintendo will sue us. So you gotta get a different sponsor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have to be careful.
I don't know then.
But can I say something before you guys go?
Yeah.
Danny, I just want to encourage you to do your movie. I want to let you know, I think you could probably do it if you did it on a Jessica Jones, Luke Cage level. Because all that CGI, unless you know of somebody who's just really good in that kind of stuff, you're going to have a problem doing action scenes, and you don't want to get sued. So, somebody gets hurt, or you're going to have some ironclad contracts with that, and use local actors.
Oh yeah,
I thought there was like a Ace Blade short film that came out a few years ago with Ace Blade beating up somebody in the park.
Stop it! That doesn't count.
Oh, okay.
That was more like a trailer or a promo for the comic book.
Okay.
But, I'm gonna do a better version next time.
Okay.
Good luck to you. Good luck to you both. I love both of you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Miss Janice.
And thank you.
You don't have to call me Miss.
No, I'm gonna call you Miss Janice because he called you. He started it. So Miss Janice, we do appreciate you being on.
Yeah.
Where can people find your books, both your novels and your comic books? Where can people pick those up?
My comic books are on kentecomics.com, KENTE comics.com, and my regular novels are on janicedennie.com. And don't forget my husband's website for his wrestling videos, NubianNationProWrestling.com.
I will make sure we put that link in the podcast notes also so people can check that out. Danny, where can people check out your work and things like that?
Y'all know me. If you're looking for me, the best place to find us is our website, www.fourthwallpros.com. If you want to catch up with me on social media, where I frequently embarrass my kids and do silly stuff, it's at the Ace Blade on all social media streams. What about you, Kyrun? Where can people find you?
You can find my work at tauruscomics.com. You can also check out my social media at Taurus Comics on Twitter, Instagram, and now TikTok. And I do want to say thank you to everybody that actually entered into the Saw comic cover contest. I had like 15, 18 people. I don't remember. But it was a lot more than I anticipated submitting. So thank you to everybody. And congratulations to Nicholas Garza for being the winner. And if I ever get issue 4 produced, that will be the Kickstarter exclusive cover. So I'm really excited for that. But if this is your first time checking out our podcast, please go back to our website, which is 4talespodcast.com, the number 4, TALES podcast.com, and check out some of our past episodes. But join us next week where we are going to have Marcus Roberts from the writer and creator of The Protector on the show. And, we'll more than likely we will probably talk about Agents of Geekdom a little bit more because we'll be launching that in a couple weeks too. So, check us out. But until then, sayonara, goodbye, and please take care of yourselves.
Bye.
Music provided by my brother, Quicks Made It. Find him online in YouTube, Instagram, and SoundCloud.
I want to know what it is Quick is trying to say.